everybody in the school and the family members and that type of thing. So just know that you're in our thoughts and in our prayers. All right, so what do we got going on here tonight? Really kind of a thin agenda here because we're through some seasons, haven't started on other seasons, but we are going to start talking baseball. Today was a great day.
Yes.
Beautiful day. It felt like baseball weather.
Mm-hmm.
Now sometimes it can be 80 degrees during the day, but you get up on our baseball field and that wind starts blowing.
Exactly.
You're in your earmuffs and you're all bundled down.
And as someone who's coached baseball off and on for a number of years, there's always that cloud off in the distance that's just heading right for you.
Just when you don't want it.
Happens way too often.
Usually around 5:30.
Exactly. Yep. You get everybody there, and then all of a sudden you're all wet.
But the Knights' first game is going to be end of March, I believe March 26th, if I remember the schedule. So we have Coach Dave Baker. He's going to talk about all things going on with Knights baseball. They haven't officially started their preseason yet, but that'll be soon. That'll be coming up. So. I love baseball.
Oh, that's the thing. If you do read the website, lots of times there's a lot that started actually on the MLB website as a blog.
Okay.
And so it just kind of progressed into different things. So baseball is something that it's a big thing for me.
So we're going to have Dave on here in a few minutes, and he's going to give us all the stuff that's going down with baseball. We're going to look forward to that. Last year, the Knights really had a good season.
Mm-hmm.
They had a tough sectional loss, but in a very competitive sectional. So hopefully, good things are ahead. They lost a lot of seniors, but they have some good young talent coming back. But we're going to talk to Dave. He's going to break it down for us.
He'll let us know.
He'll let us know. Also, boys sectional, this is our most favorite time of the year. Any sectional of any sport.
Right.
Okay? This is the most wonderful time of the year. And tomorrow night, sectional 41 gets going in Hagerstown.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the Knights are going to be. We're going to break that down after we chat with Dave. We'll give as much information as we have. I've been going over the max preps and trying to figure out who the players are, and we've seen the Knights have played every team in our sectional and beat every team.
Right.
But honestly, Don, I think it's anybody's ball game at this stage of the game.
Sometimes you just never know.
Yeah.
And you never know how your team's going to play. Somebody gets in foul trouble. And as I look at my phone right now, IU East, the women were the 10th seed in this tournament.
And did they win?
And they did win tonight.
Well, congratulations to them.
Yeah, 71-66. So there was a 7 seed hosting the 10th seed.
Okay.
And we ended up getting a win, which is awesome.
Little plug for IU East.
Yeah,
there.
no problem. But but the point of that is
you just never know.
Yeah, and as I watched this game earlier, there were a couple of women for IU Southeast that got in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that hurt us the last time we played.
Yeah.
So they obviously didn't get to hurt us as much.
Again, we're going to talk. We're going to talk a lot about that sectional, but in my humble, honest opinion, I think the Knights are probably favored.
Yeah.
But I think some team could just step up and play a great game. And they're going to have to play their A game.
Yeah. Well, and it's always a fun group of schools to be involved with.
Right.
Because they, as someone who has worked in the press.
Yeah.
Getting to talk to all of these different coaches and whatnot over the years, it's just a nice group from my standpoint, from somebody that doesn't have a stake in it. It's nice to see all of that stuff because everybody's so competitive, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's a great place. It's at Hagerstown.
Yeah.
Probably the best facility, small school in this area, in my opinion.
And as somebody that's experienced that, plenty of parking, thankfully.
Plenty of parking.
there's always plenty of parking.
Easy
there,
to get in and out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really it's a nice place to go.
I have been places where it's a nice little walk.
You can't even find the door where you can get in the door. So some of these schools, it's one door that you would never you think is locked.
And if they end up hosting something, it's wow. It's just the environment that it is, and that's what makes things special.
Yeah, Hagerstown, they have a lot of experience in doing these things.
Yes.
They do Wayne County tournament for basketball, volleyball. So they do a good job up
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah. No question.
And we're going to broadcast, the Knights Broadcasting Network, we're going to broadcast every game of that sectional starting tomorrow night. Again, we're going to break that down later, just a little taste of what's ahead. Well, Don, since we have a little time tonight, because really not a lot happening. A couple of big things, but
Right.
not a lot of things. Oh, we have a gymnastics update.
Yes,
Almost. I apologize. Aubrey Irvin, she's a sophomore here at Northeastern. She is going to regionals. She came in fourth
In the vault.
in the vault
Yes.
at
It
Connersville
was a Connersville. Yeah.
in the sectional. So she's going on, and really we don't necessarily have a team here.
Right.
So she's on our own. I'm assuming she's got her own coaching and that type of thing. But you and I were talking earlier. We're going to have her on here.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah, because gymnastics. It's not a huge thing around here, but there are some gymnasts around.
Well, it at one point in time when I was growing up, it was.
Okay.
And I think you've just got different things now going on. The cheerleading competition has
Right.
leveled up their game a lot, and then there's also more dance teams, and I think that's one of those things that obviously gymnasts do.
Yeah.
And it's something that it's tough, and then I think you get into way stuff over my head with like insurance and the equipment issues
Yeah.
and whatnot, and
But it
it's
is
hard.
an IHSAA
It is.
sponsored
Yes, it is. Yes,
sport.
it is.
So,
No question about that.
Anyways, congratulations to Aubrey. I don't know if you watched this, but if someone ought to go tell her that she was mentioned, and we would love to have you on one of these Knightline segments, maybe after the season, and you can tell us all about how you get it done. Because you know what, I'm interested.
Yeah.
I want to know. So earlier we were reminiscing about what we do around here
Right.
and what it's become, Don. And you've been doing this for
Yeah.
you've been
Yeah.
in all formats, right?
Right. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you've been the newspaper, the local access television,
Right,
IUEs. I don't know
Yeah.
where you've been.
Well, everywhere basically.
Yeah,
I mean, and I always tell this. This is a funny story about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because I was asked one time, who's the most famous person you've ever interviewed? And I said Steven Tyler.
Oh, really? Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, yeah, Aerosmith. and
Did you get the interview done, by the way?
Yeah, well, yeah, and they kind of looked at me like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, he sang the national anthem at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway
Okay.
during the Indy 500, and they brought him into the press room."
Wow.
And I thought, I'm going to go over there.
There's your chance, right?
And so I would think that most people know Steven Tyler. If you're not an auto racing fan, you still know Steven Tyler.
Right.
If you're a baseball fan,
Yeah.
you still know Steven Tyler. Even though you're. I said, well, then maybe he's the one. It was kind of humorous and whatnot. And he's a short guy though.
Oh, really? He looks
a
long
short
and
guy.
he looks like long
Well,
and
I think
lanky.
that's camera angles. You learn that
The camera can
angles.
cover up a lot, multitude.
Exactly,
of
but you're right. I've just been very fortunate to do a lot of things, and I'm really following you guys obviously and the success that you're having with this situation, and it's been fun to watch.
Well, I want to tell you, since we've been doing this, born out of the pandemic, okay, we played to empty gyms first because of the pandemic and the rules that were going on there. We've kind of exploded. It was just girls and boys home basketball to start. And we were with My Team Live. That's where we started. After our second season, we decided to do our own thing through the school, and it's exploded, Don. We just started with basketball. Now we're doing volleyball. We do the sectionals. We do the regionals if the Knights go that far. So we've been there the last
Right.
couple of years. We did football last year for the first time. We did baseball last year, which is a difficult in this format right here. It's
Yeah,
probably
it is.
the hardest thing to do, but we pulled it off, I think. and we were able to do the sectionals last year because they were here.
Mhm.
Now we're internet dependent. You talked
Right.
about MiFi, and sometimes
Yes.
that
Oh, yeah.
MiFi
That's-
doesn't work very
It's a
good.
little shaky if the wind's blowing the wrong way, it feels like.
So
Even though that's not true, but it feels that way.
well, and you go to some of these places, there's not a good internet connection.
Right.
And
Yes.
Here at the baseball field, they put high-speed internet in the press box.
And that makes it so much better.
So we can get a good connection,
Yeah.
and they also did it in the press box at the football field.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
And now in the gym, when we're in the gym, it's easy because we just plug in directly to the hardwire.
Right.
And wherever we go, if we go on the road, which we're doing more of, normally there's a good Wi-Fi connection. Most gyms have a good
Right.
Wi-Fi connection, but really, when we got started, and I know Jerry feels the same way, it was all about the kids,
Mhm.
okay? And what we started, there's a lot of live stream teams out there.
Right.
You watch a lot of it,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yes,
sure.
I do. Yes.
I watch a lot. Sectional time is coming. We'll watch a lot of sectionals
Hmm.
from other places. I think what we try to do, and one of the things that I think has made us to whatever degree of success that we've had, is interviewing the kids.
Right.
Okay, that's the fun part.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right, we'll
yeah.
bring them here on Knightline. Pretty soon we'll have senior baseball, senior softball. We'll do all those things, track and field,
Mhm.
and whatever. But honestly, if I say the thing I'm most proud of is, we totally are dedicated to the kids. Like we'll do sectionals this week,
Mhm.
okay? And so tomorrow night we're going to have a game between two schools. Not one is ours.
Right.
We're going to broadcast the game, and we're going to bring our Subway player of the game on. We're going
Right.
to interview them, and the thing about that is with these other schools, they absolutely love it. Okay. Because you'll see mom and dad and grandma and grandpa
Right.
up on the little mezzanine there with their camera phones,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
doing that and watching that. So it's a proud moment for them,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
Oh, yeah. No, quite. Well, and it is about the kids.
Yeah.
Even in the situation I was in at the Palladium Item, it was always about the kids. That you're writing stories, and there were sometimes I would write a story and I would tell my whichever boss it was at that time, well, here's a grandparent story. One of those that they
Yeah.
clip out and they put in a scrapbook for someone.
Right.
And those are always kind of fun to do because it does focus on the success of the kids and that kind of thing. And it's a lot of fun to do that. And I do notice that when at the end of the game when you do your Subway thing, and it's like sometimes the kids are so nervous, which makes me kind of laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, I've interviewed those kids and they just kind of stand there and go, because they're trying to process it.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of experience with that.
They got zero experience.
And you
A lot
just
of
have to
them.
kind of coach them through it.
Get them. We coach them up on
Right.
the
Yeah,
spot.
You really do.
and it's all on the fly too.
It really is for them as well. And it's kind of fun to sometimes do that, and because there are times when you'll ask, hey coach, give me a kid.
Yeah.
And the coach knows, okay, I want that kid because he talks, he
Yeah.
can talk to people.
Yeah.
And do things, and sometimes those kids don't always hit the winning shot.
Yeah,
that's
true.
So it makes it fun.
But anyways, that's what we've tried to do, and I think it's been successful.
Oh, yeah.
And
No.
I think that's probably the funnest part of this, Dawn.
And I do have. I just thought of this as we were talking about the kids. There's a very bad picture of me at an All-Star game talking to Corey Ryan.
Okay.
And it's been on Facebook for a while, and
All right.
we've actually talked about that at some point in time, because obviously we still talk to this day.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm interviewing him, and I have no idea who took the picture. I think it must have been somebody from his family or whatever said, "Hey, taking the picture of that." And I've seen a few of those over the years where I'm interviewing somebody and somebody takes a picture, and it's like, oh man, got my bad side. But it happens.
It does. All right, and of course, so now here we are. We're doing more things, and so we'll do some baseball this year. We'll try to do some softball, depending on our internet connection. And I think we'll be all season. We'll
Yeah,
take
be
summers
great.
off to, you break down our equipment and grease it up or whatever
Yeah.
we have to do.
Try to find a new camera here or there or whatever. Yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
there's always a bigger and better one, isn't
That
there,
is true.
Don? And
Yep,
this stuff
that's
ain't
true.
cheap.
No, it's true.
Which leads me to this. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Don, because as we mentioned earlier, without them,
This doesn't exist.
No, we can't buy this stuff,
Yeah.
And so I want to thank them, and they've been great. And a couple guys I want to thank are the athletic director, Jerry Kiesling,
Mhm.
very supportive. Basically, don't get in trouble, and he stays out of our
Yeah.
way. That's
Oh,
his
yeah. No,
instructions.
I've known Jerry for years. We worked together at Earlham and whatnot, so we've
And-
known each other a long
And
time.
another big supporter has been Dr. Matthew
Mhm.
Hicks.
Mhm.
Okay, I can't thank him enough. For just not that he supports what we're doing.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's big.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so anyways, I want to thank those guys. All right, well, this went a little longer than I thought, so we're gonna take a break. We're going to go into commercials. When we come back, we're going to have baseball coach Dave Baker, because it was 70 degrees today. It was beautiful. So we're thinking baseball.
Yeah.
Pitchers and catchers have reported.
Yes,
I've
they
been
have, and
told.
there are games on the internet already
Yeah.
for the major leagues.
There
so,
are.
as bad as they are.
All right, so we're going to take a break and hear from our sponsors. You're watching Knightline, and we are live.
At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. That fear is the only enemy, the only thing keeping you from feeling that power in your bones. And here we are, right here, right now. Let's fly.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
We would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students, our youth group at LifeSpring Church that is just south of Northeastern on 27. We meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. You can grab some pizza or a snack from our cafe and then hang out with your friends until 7 p.m. We have basketball, dodgeball, gaga ball, and other activities for you to enjoy. At 7, our student band leads us in some worship through music, and we have a lesson from God's Word, the Bible. We then split into small groups based on grade and gender to apply what we have learned and pray with one another. After small group, students are invited to hang out until 9 p.m. when we close. LifeSpring Students is a great way to get to know God and meet some new friends. It is open for any student in grades 6 through 12, and we would love to invite you. Find out more at lifespring.tv/students.
KOA Exit 151A, registration in the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin. Relax at one of the fire pits or picnic by the pond. A playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip.
Do you have a big event coming up soon? Dejo Photos has you covered. Check us out on Facebook. We are professional photographers who strive to capture all of your special moments, such as family portraits, senior photos, live action sports, graduations, and so much more. If you don't think photos are important, wait until they are all you have left. Contact us via email at info@dejophotos.com or call us at 765-277-0047. Dejo Photos, capturing memories one photo at a time.
Well, welcome back to Knightline, and I gotta say, Don, we've a lot of jabbering going back and forth here, and I found out tonight that you guys are personal friends from a long time ago.
Long time ago, and
or maybe should I say adversaries?
Well, no. He was always a great umpire for us, and he never threw me out. So
all right. So this is Coach Dave Baker. Dave, baseball coach. We appreciate it. Day like today, 70 degrees. It was beautiful and sunny out. It just kind of got spring fever all over it. And you guys were out at the baseball field. Doing what? What were you
Correct.
doing?
We was out there. We have been outside for the last month.
Okay.
We have not come inside the gymnasium once. We've just worked our schedule. We're allowed to go 4 hours a week, 2-hour sessions, and we just work it around the weather. And it's like today, it's Monday. Now we won't go again until Saturday because the weather is going to be good on Saturday. Last week it was Monday and Tuesday we went, and just whatever how God wants to dictate the weather for us.
All right, so I got to ask you, a lot of improvements on the field over the last couple of years. What kind of shape is it in right now?
The field itself, obviously it's just coming out of the winter. It's got to be rolled and just little things, fine tuning it, but it's ready to go. If we had to play a game tonight, we could have played a game.
All right, what I'd like to do, if I win the Powerball, we can do something like what Erwin did, and do it real nice.
Little turf.
Yeah, make it real nice. All right, so let's get into it. Pitchers and catchers have reported baseball's going on the major league level. We had some springtime weather today. It might snow tomorrow for all we know, but that's the way it is here, February. Let's get into your team. And when do you guys actually start? When's the first practice?
First official practice by the state is March 11th, and our first scheduled game will be March 26th.
All right.
We host Tri-Village.
All right.
That'll be the first time it snows sideways.
Yeah. Well, you've played in snow before, right?
Yeah.
These early season games. I'll tell you what, folks. If you're going to a baseball or a softball game, because they're both the same, and it's early season like this, you bring all your winter gear, okay? Because you're going to need it. Because even if it's warm out that day, the wind will pick up, and it gets cooler at night, and the wind blows. And boy, oh boy, can it get chilly out there.
Especially here at Northeastern, it's been like that since they built this place.
Yeah.
Wide open space.
Yeah, wide open, and that wind there's nothing to stop it. Here it comes. Yep. And I've been to many a ball game out there bundled up. So, anyways, but come on out and watch. I think your team, Dave, now you tell me that you're going to be competitive. You had a lot of youngsters last year that got a lot of playing time.
We got 6 juniors that got and 4 of them have got a lot of playing time in the last 2 years. So all 6 of the juniors that are out are counted on to be big contributors to the this season coming up.
All right, let's start at the top here, and when I mean at the top, I'm talking pitching. Okay, very important in high school baseball. Especially with the way with double headers that you do on Saturdays, and then when you get into sectionals. A lot of times, the more pitching you have, the better it is.
Correct.
So talk about our pitchers and what we got going on there.
Well, we have two of our 4 main pitchers from last year, or three of our main four pitchers from last year that pitched the bulk of the innings are coming back this year. It's Logan White, right-hander, and Caden White, his twin brother, lefty, and right-hander Blake Waters.
Okay.
And they pitched a lot of innings last year, and they're the leaders of the team. Those basically the junior classes.
But you go deeper than that on your pitching staff.
Correct. We have another junior, Connor Burke, righty Matthew Truitt. Also, both those will pitch a lot, and Colton Creech. And he hasn't done a lot of pitching, but he's very capable of. But he's valuable because he plays a lot of positions.
Well, we saw Colton in football. He had a great football season. So, a lot of these athletes, they play multiple sports.
Right, One thing that has always fascinated me about the pitching, since we were talking about that, the IHSA rules with pitching, the number of innings and that kind of thing. How does that enter into your preparation?
They instituted about 6 years ago, took away the innings count, where it used to be 10 innings every 72 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a pitch count, which if you use right, it does save a kid's arm from overuse. And we try to keep it. Our goal as a team is to throw under 100 pitches a game.
Mm-hmm.
And we averaged like 95 a game last year. Our game time umpires loved us.
Right.
We were getting out of there within the 2-hour window.
Yeah.
For most part. And of course, when I umpired, I used to count on 150 pitches from each team throwing.
That's a lot of walks.
That's
a lot. That's 300 squats by an umpire, also.
Yeah,
But those games, when you throw,
that's why he's not a coach.
when you throw a lot of pitches, though, it's a lot of stress on your arms.
Right.
And if you throw strikes and hit your spots, or as a result of strikes, and last year we kind of started doing it. Some of the kids did it, and they got competing amongst themselves about, I can throw less pitches than that this inning than you did, or
Right, yeah.
or I can go back out. I can stay under the total that you have given me.
Right. Now, are the pitch counts daily, or is it something that is, for like a week or like 2 or 3 days?
It goes like, if you throw, I think it's 30 or 35 today, you can come back and throw tomorrow. But if you throw more, between up to 60 or 70 or whatever, you have to have a day's rest.
Okay.
And you get up, if you throw over 100, I'll put it this way, if you throw over 100, you have to have 4 days rest.
Okay.
If you throw under it, you only have to have 3, or
Mm-hmm.
up like 95 pitches, you only have to have 3 days rest.
Well, and I remember covering games at different points in time where the inning thing drove me crazy, because you'd have a third of an inning.
Yeah.
The guy just struck somebody out, and the guy goes, he's got to go out. He goes, it's like, why are you taking him out? And then you think, well, okay, the innings add up right, and that always, that kind of bothered me at that point, because it was a different thing, with the pitch count. Obviously, that's a little different animal, I guess, in that sense.
And in some ways, it's easier, but the kids don't. Some of them don't understand it.
Right.
I'll put on a pitch count to throw 2 kids in one game. Okay, you're going to throw 45 pitches, and if it's in the middle of the inning, I'll come get you.
Right.
And I don't care if you're throwing good or not.
Yeah.
Because we're developing the arms, we're not abusing the arms.
Right.
Probably pitch count is probably more appropriate count than innings if you're trying to save an arm anyway.
Correct. Yes, because there were the inning thing. You could go out there and just
throw a lot of pitches.
Oh yeah.
And so
then you get tired.
Yeah, well, it behooves throwing strikes. Okay, that's the key in high school baseball, in my opinion, is you hit the strike zone, and a lot of kids, they're not going to hit it 400 feet. All right, it's just not going to happen. And
Just a couple.
for the most part, though.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even though they'll swing as hard as they can, but the key with pitching is just hit the strike zone, hit your spot, and you're going to be a successful pitcher. So last year you had a lot of senior leadership. This year you got no seniors. So we're replacing like the Keaton Mike Sells and the Carson Terrells and York and those guys from last year. Who are going to fill some of those spots?
That's still a question is up in the air. We have the 6 juniors. Like I said, they'll be pitching on probably the bulk of the innings, and also a couple of them have to catch also. And they're Logan White, Colton Creech. I have a Gavin Johnson, a sophomore, and Grayson Pennington, a sophomore, that also will be doing catching. But both those young men have to pitch also, whether it's going to be on the varsity level, JV level. We have about 15 kids that can not only throw, but can pitch. And, they will be going back and forth between varsity and JV to get their innings in and to help both teams out, however it goes. Like we lost a very good first baseman last year in Justice Hollingsworth. Very good infielder, and the number 3 or third best pitcher last year was Landon Sum.
Yeah.
He miss him not more on the field than we did on the mound, because he just plugged a hole at the middle infield. He was out there every second or shortstop every game. Carson Terrell, very big bat. Same with Keaton Mikesell. Keaton Mikesell, though, his greatest asset was his ability as a catcher to lead the pitching staff. And I give the pitchers credit, but they listened to him, and he is the one that brought them along and worked them and was able to get, like I said, with the low pitch counts. Our team ERA was best it's been in probably 5 years or whatever. It's like 2.45, and sometimes in high school that's hard to do.
That catching position is pivotal out there for that very reason, that that leader, that field general.
My goal, just like talking with catchers tonight, there's some of the drills. I don't want to see your number going to the backstop.
Yeah.
And Keaton Mikesell had like 5 pass balls all last year, and that's what we're getting across to these young men now this year. We don't want to see your number, block the ball. So.
Well, 15 pitchers, Dave. No one's crying for you, probably, right? 15
Oh,
guys
no.
who can pitch,
No.
not just throw the ball,
Correct.
but pitch. So, all right. So, who are some other players that you got? You mentioned a few there. There's some holes to plug out there, and
I don't know the sophomore group who's going to play. We went through. Coach Steele made a lineup, like 9 different lineups out with 9 different pitchers throwing. And there wasn't, I don't think, any time that one player stayed at the same position in any 2 or 3 games, because whoever's pitching, catching, is going to dictate where everybody's going to play. I don't know who's going to play third base. I don't know who's going to play first base.
so there's some spots available.
I do not know who's going to play second base. I have a feeling who I know is going to play bulk of innings in outfield and shortstop.
Okay.
Blake Waters and Logan White will do probably the shortstop duties, and catching will be Colton Creech, and Logan White, Gavin Johnson, Grayson Pennington. It's
So if you're a ball player, there's plenty of spots available.
Yeah.
Competition's always good, though. It brings out the best, and you want that competition. You push the guy ahead of you. And so let me ask you. Your JV team, you'll have a JV squad this year.
we will have a JV squad. We probably have about 10 or 11 kids on it.
Okay.
There'll be 4 or 5 freshmen, and then the rest of them probably sophomores. And
Now baseball's a hard sport for a freshman to break. In my opinion, for a freshman to break in, it does happen. Okay,
Right.
but that field is big, and the pitching is usually better. and the bases are a lot longer. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that. Are there any freshmen that maybe could break the lineup, or you'd rather see them on the JV squad
I
get some time?
don't envision any freshmen seeing or any time on the varsity at this point.
Okay.
With that being said, we had like 13 or 14 sophomores this year, but we kept as freshmen last year. So the bulk of our program is sophomores.
Okay.
So, and they, that'll be the people that get most of the playing time, and the throwers or pitchers coming ahead.
Might have that occasional pinch runner or
Correct.
somebody of that nature as a freshman who,
I mean,
does a little few
right.
things here and there,
Right.
kind of
Right.
just to be around
Yes.
and that kind of stuff. So
Chase foul balls down.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah. No,
You got to earn your keep.
You
man,
got- you
right?
have to.
You got you got to earn your keep.
There
and
is a level of that you have to work.
And
at.
a lot of times, if this is how you show you're going to hustle, you're going to have to hustle after that
Right.
baseball.
And there's been a lot of kids in the past, dressed up, being freshmen, like, I said, well, it's just part of being, like I said, the process of being there.
Yeah.
But then they get thrown in a game with the rule that was put in a few years back, a courtesy runner,
Right. Yeah.
and
Don't get picked off.
Yeah.
correct. So
Exactly.
we've had that happen also.
Yeah.
But with a courtesy runner, I mean, I can have somebody run for my pitcher or catcher,
Yeah.
and most of the time our pitchers and catchers are the fastest people, though, so that very seldom happens.
Right.
But this is why I use a lot of pinch runners. In the past, I have, sometimes 2 for 1 guy. Pitch runner comes in, or the kid gets on base, then he goes back in the game. Then he gets on again later in the game. I'll run for him again, and
Right. And you have to use a different person
Use
to
a
run
different-
for it. Right.
That
Yes.
gives that younger kid a chance to get on the field.
Just to, and just
Get a
being
feel-
on the field
get a feel for
gets
it.
Right.
yeah.
and then also, it's not just sitting over there in the dugout and say, hey, you got to get this foul ball or whatever. They're in the game and hopefully learning.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask, where are sectionals this year, Dave?
This year, the sectional will be held at Shenandoah.
All right, so we don't know what their internet connection is down there. We were talking earlier,
Right,
Don.
yeah.
Usually the MiFis don't work out there in the middle of the cornfield like Shenandoah, so we'll see. But we will have some baseball games on the Knights broadcasting work this year, just like we did quite a bit started last year. We'll probably do more, so we'll look forward to that. Well, Dave. Hey, baseball's almost here. That means spring is right around the corner.
It is.
We can put away our shovels, hopefully, and
I'll hold off on that.
Get through that first snow. I mean, there's always snow. It never fails.
yeah. I did notice that over the weekend, Earlham College played.
Yes, yes.
And it
Yep.
was,
They
one
played
of,
supposed to play a doubleheader Saturday, played a single game Saturday, and then a doubleheader on Sunday.
I remember the first time we played there, and of course I was the SID there, and they were shoveling snow over the fence.
Yep.
yeah.
Very first game.
That's why you want that turf. You
And-
can
and-
do all
and-
those things.
And we were determined to play, and they did.
Oh.
And
Yes.
All right, Dave. Well, we
Speaking of that, we get to play on a turf field at Muncie this year.
Muncie Central.
No, Muncie Burris.
Okay.
They're playing at McCullough Park,
Okay.
which is going to be a little bit. They have sod outfield, turf infield,
Mm.
All right.
and
What's your feeling about turf fields?
they are nice, but no one else in this area has them. So I would rather stay with
Grass.
sod.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about turf though is the weather's an issue and you can play. Usually get a game
For
in.
the most
but-
part, yeah.
But my feeling also, if I practiced and played on it all the time, I'd hate to go someplace else and lose a game because of a bad hop that
Oh,
we have got used to not having on it.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Sliding is always fun too.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Because
them
it's-
slide well past the bag.
or not get there just
Yeah.
because you don't know when to slide.
Yeah,
It's a tough-
you
it's
definitely have to practice. And,
It is a learned skill.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. Plus the bounces
Yes.
of just when the ball's spinning around and it bounces where it's going to go. Sometimes you don't know.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us. Good luck. We'll be out there cheering you guys on. Your games usually start, well, they say 5, but 5:30 is
Most
usually
of
the
it,
time.
we've changed.
Because umpires can't show up.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, it's because like we have.
It's the other schools.
It's the other,
that
it's
Exactly.
like we go to,
Yeah.
we have to wait on a route bus to get us there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
they don't get
that
back
makes
to the
makes it
school
tough.
till
There are
4:15
those
or-
transportation issues
Oh,
with baseball
no
and
question.
softball,
No
with that
question.
time.
But we have, with time change, we usually don't have too much problem with light.
Yeah. All right, that's been Dave Baker. He's the varsity baseball coach for the Northeastern Knights. We're going to take a break, hear from our Gold Level sponsors. This is Knightline, and we're live.
Coming together every day to make a difference for you, for me, and everyone in between. Because at Dot Foods, when we celebrate each other's differences and work together to make the community a better place, we become great together. At Dot Foods, what matters to you matters to us, where communities matter. Dot Foods.
Dreaming of having more space? With a mortgage from First Financial, you're golden. We keep things simple with friendly, personalized service from application to closing. We'll help you find the right mortgage loan to fit your unique needs. Plus, you can qualify for relationship pricing with an eligible checking account. And since we live in the communities we serve, you can count on our local knowledge to make sure the pieces fall into place for an on-time closing. So stop dreaming and start moving with First Financial Bank.
First! Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
Are you being bugged about your floral needs? The Leaning Lily, 927 South 9th, is a full-service florist with lots of great gift ideas like wind chimes, potted plants, hanging baskets, teddy bears, and much, much more. Convenient delivery available to residential, the hospital, and local funeral homes. The Leaning Lily has bouquets to say, I love you, to weddings to say, I do. The Leaning Lily, we have you covered. Martin's Country Mart, US 27 Fountain City. Swing in and grab a coffee or a frazzle, maybe a fountain drink. At Martin's Country Mart, we also have all your favorite snacks, bottled drinks, and of course, sweet bakery items. Plenty of accessories for dinner. And don't forget the grill menu, covering breakfast, lunch, dinner, and of course, the kids' favorite, pizza. Martin's Country Mart, Fountain City. You've had a hard day at work and all you want to do is sit in your lounge chair in the nice cool air? Then it hits. The AC's not working. The living room feels like the Sahara Desert. Call Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling In just a short time, it'll be nice and cool. And then all you'll need is a sign that says, "No penguins allowed." Call 765-966-0994. Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Proud sponsors of the night.
All right, welcome back to Knightline. Boy, I tell you what, the conversation just wouldn't stop when we're at commercial between you and Dave and going back a few years.
Oh, a lot of years, but it's always fun to see Dave.
All right, we're going to switch gears now. Big week for Knights, the boys basketball team, this sectional time. They did have a game last week. Seems like it's been a long time since they played, but they went to Connersville last Tuesday night. Always fun to go to the Spartan Bowl.
Yes,
I mean, it's a great place to play. And Connersville, as long as I've been around, Don, Connersville has always given us fits.
Oh, yeah.
And so you take nothing for granted. They're struggling this year, okay? But Knights went in, and due to a 15-0 run at the end of the second quarter, they kind of cruised to victory. It was always like a 6-point lead or that type of thing. They ended up winning by 9. So, hey, that's a good win.
Anytime you win in Connersville, it's fun. I mean, as a Richmond person,
big rivalry over the years.
Anytime that happens, it's great.
Yeah, so that was a good win. They were coming off a tough loss to Winchester the Friday night before that took them out of the conference, running for the conference. But able to pick up that win, hopefully a little momentum as we go into the sectionals there. Now, Connersville, just a little side note, they got a great coach in Dave McCullough. So he's going to implement his program. Right. So you kind of figure they'll be back at some point.
Oh, yeah. There's too much history there for that not to happen.
Yeah. All right, so a lot of players had a lot to do with that game. We talked to a couple of them, Nolan Drake, senior, and Sam White, a junior. So, Kayla, let's go to that interview right here. All right, we're here at Connersville, and the Knights take home a 52-43 victory and a nice comeback win for the Knights. I'm here with senior Nolan Drake and junior Sam White. All right, Nolan, you get in. You're just a energizer bunny. You get in there, and there's rebounds all over the floor. Talk about your role on this team and what you try to do.
My role is mainly defense. We have enough offensive scores, so I try and be the defensive threat that our team needs.
Yeah, you came in at some key times of the game tonight, and really, I don't know what 23's name is, but the first play right out of the gate, you get a rebound, good positioning. Yeah. So talk about that play right there.
It's a play that we needed. You need to, it's snowball effect. You need those plays. So I just need to start something to go somewhere.
All right, Sam, I don't know how many points you scored, but you scored a few. So going forward, what does that mean?
Just going into the state tournament, I just wanted to start being more offensive-minded, and, we work on all those post moves every day, so might as well use them in a game.
After coming off that loss at Winchester, does this game right here against this team give you some confidence going forward?
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to lose 2 in a row going into sectionals, so it's nice to have a win going into the tournament.
All right, guys, next week it starts for real. Come on up here, Nolan. Don't drift away. All right. Next week it starts for real, so we'll be looking forward to that. Knights, again, they take a 52-43 win over Connersville. Back to you guys in the studio. Welcome back to Knightline. Again, Don, just anytime you beat Connersville, that's a good win no matter what the records are.
And going into the tournament, that's a good way to go in.
Good way to go in. So, tournament starts tomorrow night. We'll be down there. Again, we'll be broadcasting every single game, and that starts tomorrow night. Game time is at 7 o'clock at Hagerstown. The first game is Shenandoah and Knightstown. Mm-hmm. Now, let's go over those two teams. Really evenly matched, I think.
Rivalry.
Rivalry, yeah.
County,
Yeah.
Just like we would be here with Hagerstown and Lincoln and, Northeastern.
Yeah. So. I think Knightstown is 500, 11-11. Mm-hmm. Shenandoah is a little bit above, 12-10, for whatever that means. I don't know if they played earlier. Probably the star of that game, I'm going to tell you, is a kid from Knightstown. That's Michael Roberson. He's a senior, averaging close to 20 points a game. I went down there and actually saw him play against Hagerstown in their last senior night for them.
Okay, yeah.
And he put up 30
Right, yeah.
in a close loss in that
Right.
game. But you got to look back at Knightstown. They beat Centerville earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So
That's Centerville's only loss in the conference.
Yeah, and so that they have the capability.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things when you look at that kind of stuff and you think, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Well, it happened because they're a pretty decent team.
Yes.
And they played well, and and that can happen Tuesday night.
Yeah, it could.
I mean, it just what you're going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what the John Harrell rankings are or the predictions on this.
Those are all fun, but they don't really determine what goes on unless they're used as a motivating factor occasionally.
You're absolutely right. So really expecting a good ball game tomorrow. Get out to Hagerstown. Game time starts at 7:00. I think $7 at the door, I believe, or you can buy them online nowadays.
So, yeah,
however that happens, but again, Jerry and I will have the call starting probably about 6:45 with our pregame, so we'll have that game. All right, the winner of that game goes into Friday night, but first, game one on Friday night, you're going to have Hagerstown and Union County.
Right.
Now, Hagerstown, their record I don't think is indicative of what they are. They've had a lot of injuries this year.
Mhm.
I think they've got most of their guys back at this point in time. I think they're missing their big guy.
Right.
He's out for the year, but the rest of their teams together, again, they could be capable of
and they have the benefit of being at home. It's
Yeah.
one of those things
Yeah.
that is, it's not a unique situation, but it's a situation that certainly helps them.
And the folks at Hagerstown are going to show up.
Yes.
And they're going to be there and they'll be loud. So, Union County, I don't know what to make of them. Last year they didn't win a game.
Mm-hmm.
They came here just a couple weeks ago. We won by 6, but it wasn't easy.
Right, yeah.
It was a barn burner right down to the end. I mean, it was probably, they had a lead, I think, early in the fourth quarter, late in the third quarter. So it was a back and forth game. So, and again, there's a team, all right, they could put together that run.
Right, yeah.
And you never know what's going to happen. And the Knights, they're going to play the second game. They're going to play the winner of tomorrow night's game. So
Right.
whoever wins that game, you got to figure. Now we've beaten both teams.
Right.
Okay. Earlier in the year we played Shenandoah. You got to figure it's a different time of year.
Right.
Everything's different now. We went up and played Knightstown, beat them rather handily. But I still think you got to play your A game.
Well, there's no question, and yes, you've played both of them and whatnot, and that helps with your preparation. From that standpoint, you can watch that game on Tuesday night and kind of say, okay, wait, they didn't do this the last time we played them, or they did this, and we didn't stop that.
Right.
But okay, this is how we are going to do that. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that, and Coach Ross will have them ready to go, and they'll have basically 2 days to answer those questions about one of those teams, whichever one wins.
Yeah, Brent Ross, the most experienced coach
Right.
in that sectional. He's won that sectional 7 or 8 times. It's got to be an advantage there.
Oh yeah, the experience thing is a big factor in that situation, and then it increases as you go on. I mean, I've talked to a lot of coaches over the years. Sitting in their office, as they're getting ready for a regional game or a
Right.
semi-state game, and just the things that go on into those conversations and that kind of thing, and you sit there and you go, okay, yeah, this guy really knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's easy to figure out from that standpoint. But so they'll be ready, and it'll be an entertaining game, I'm sure.
So I think you could have competitive ball games all throughout the things. Now we go into Saturday night. I believe the game time there is 7:30. The winners from Friday night will go into Saturday. I think Friday nights are special in sectional time because
Right.
you got a lot of people there, a lot of teams, and it's just a nice, great atmosphere.
Yeah, those are always good. When you get to the championship game, sometimes it can be a downer because
Yeah.
even though some of the same fans come back, they're not as interested. They just want to see what happens.
Exactly.
You know, and they're not yelling and screaming like they are.
Yeah.
You know, the night before. So
Yeah.
you're right. Friday is a very special time when you've got 4 teams there that all feel like they have a chance. And you know, then come Saturday, there are only 2, and it's a different atmosphere.
And on Friday night, if you got a team that's an underdog that's giving
Yeah.
the other team a run for their life.
Yeah, and it
all
turns
of a sudden,
into
all the fans.
It turns into a 3-on-1 basically.
That's
at that
exactly
point.
that's
And
exactly
those
what
are
happens.
those are some fun nights when that happens. If as long as you're not the one.
Yeah.
You know, I've been on both ends of that. I've been in the 3 and then been in the 1, and it's like, oh boy, this
all
is
of a
not
sudden,
what we want to do.
It could be a road game, big time road game for one of those teams.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, no question.
But anyways, Friday night, going Saturday night, you know, we're going to be there no matter Northeastern there or not. We're going to be there to broadcast all of that, and that's our commitment to doing that. And we'll do all our normal things. We'll have players of the game, Subway players of the game, try to get to some talk to some coaches before the game. We've been trying to do that. You know.
You mentioned Mr. Harney.
Yeah, well, Jerry's leaving.
Yeah.
He's got family obligations, so
Right.
he'll be out of town. So Dan Harney's going to be with me on Friday and Saturday.
That's awesome.
I mean, just a wealth of information.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yep, no
and
question.
history.
He's seen a lot of games in that gym.
Seen a lot of games. So I'll tell you, early in the year, Dan was with me. We did the Wayne County volleyball
Right.
tournament.
Yes, I do remember that.
And he was great. So he was my first guy. I went to him, and he's agreed to come on.
I remember
so.
that because we had soccer that day for IU East, and I was at the soccer match watching that before our game started. I was watching that on
Well,
TV.
we appreciate your patronage. But it's going to be a fun week. Get out there, and you know, especially if you're Knights, come on out, watch their game. But watch all the games. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it is a lot of fun, and the atmosphere is great. And you know, starting tomorrow night, we're going to be there, so we're really looking forward to it. I'd like to apologize to some of our sponsors. We're not able to get to their commercials tonight. We are running a little bit over, but geez, that's what happens when you get Dave Baker here, right? And two old friends like you guys
We've been at it a while.
get going. Don, appreciate you showing up.
No problem. Thank you.
So we'll run into you at some point. I'm sure I'll
yeah.
see you somewhere on the
yeah.
on a ball field or a court somewhere.
Oh yeah.
With your camera in hand or whatever you're doing.
Something.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight. For my co-host, Don Tincher, we have Kayla Hersey. She's our executive producer. I appreciate all of our sponsors. Come on out to Hagerstown. Go see the boys sectional. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Knights will be competitive. Hopefully they'll be there at the end. We'll see what happens. This has been Knightline, and we've been live here on Monday night.